Back on SportsBIT, betting insight today. Give us a follow on Twitter at Paulie Howard at Teddy_covers. Big game breakdown as always live odds, sportsbookreview.com. One game in the association. Celtics hit the road to take on the Wiz. Celtics favored. 219 the total. They met January 8th. Celtics were laying 5.5. They won 117 to 108. I expect fireworks in this one as well. Washington led by 2 entering the fourth. Celtics outscored them by 11. Wizards couldn't get a stop. Celtics scored 34 fourth quarter points, Teddy.
Yeah, Isaiah Thomas had 20 of those 34 in the fourth. 38 points overall in the game, and badly outplayed John Wall. Wall just 4 of 21 from the floor, 0 of 5 on three-pointers, though he did have 11 assists versus only 1 turnovers. He also had 7 rebounds and 3 steals. And let's not forget, there was some bad blood between these two teams in that meeting. There was a little brawl at the end of the game where Wall and Jay Crowder got into it. Both guys ended up getting fined, significant fines, following their altercation. But, the Celtics hitting the highway after back-to-back gimmies at home. They had the Knicks and they had the Blazers. Except for that, they lost both of those gimmies at home. Favorites, 9 points against New York, 8 points against Portland, 0-2 straight up in those games. They had a season-high 21 turnovers against the Blazers.
They cannot rebound. They are getting killed on the glass.
They may be getting killed on the glass, but when it comes to 21 turnovers, it's an Isaiah Thomas issue. This is what Thomas had to say. Quote, "We had uncharacteristic turnovers where a guy passed the ball and the guy's not even looking at the ball. So there were a few of those that cost us late in the game. That's not what you want to see from a team in midseason form." And of course, Thomas, he's scoring. He's lighting it up the last 2 games. 80 minutes, 80 points, but only 8 assists versus 8 turnovers. Point a minute's great, but for Boston to be successful, you talk about the rebounding issues, there's also a clear need for him to create for his teammates. They can't win with a 1-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio from their point guard spot.
Get killed on the glass, that's one thing. But when it's the Knicks without Porzingis and Plumlee and the Blazers, you got big issues there. Now the Wizards, money in the bank at home. 13-0 straight up. 12-1 ATS since December 7th. Kept up the momentum on the road. 2-1 straight up. 3-0 ATS on the last trip. Only loss came on the putback by Morris in Detroit with less than a second left. But still a problem with depth. They had the lead in Charlotte last night, Teddy. And you see the big minutes that these guys played. Even with the win in Charlotte, but you see the big minutes that Morris, Wall, and Porter played.
Yeah, sure. But I'm going to go back to your point about the issues with Boston and the rebounding problem. Because, the 2 home losses, the first 2 games since Avery Bradley got hurt. He had the Achilles injury. And Bradley, again, he's not going to wow you with stats. All right? And he is not someone who the betting markets appreciate at all. But Avery Bradley's one of those guys who does a lot of the little things on the floor for Boston. I think he may mean more to the rotation, even in the rebounding department, than the markets necessarily appreciate. Then you talk about the Wizards' problems with depth. They won by double digits at Charlotte last night. Impressive victory against a team that was coming to play and had played a lot better the last couple of ball games. But, as you mentioned, Morris more than 40 minutes, Wall close to 38, Porter close to 35, and very little from the bench once again. This is Washington's Achilles heel. This team makes a move or two at the deadline. They can make some noise in the postseason right now, and they've been a point spread covering machine, but 87 of their 109 points last night came from the starters. That's not the appropriate ratio, especially with the back-to-back situation coming up tonight.
Do your research before you bet. Check out our ratings guide to see which books have the best ratings and sign-up bonuses. Open up several accounts. Shop for lines at sbrodds.com. Always be ahead of the game.